Namaskar friends, this is Subhas Kumar Verma going to discuss on one of the very important topic from the chapter Kinship, Caste and Class, Early Society 600 BC to 600 CE from class 12 History. This is chapter number 3. The topics we will discuss: number 1, Introduction of the Mahabharata; number 2, Kuru family tree; number 3, Mahabharata, a colossal epic to understand social behavior of early historic period. So once again, number 1, Introduction on the Mahabharata; number 2, Kuru family tree; and number 3, Mahabharata, a colossal epic to understand social behavior of the early historic period. An introduction of Mahabharata. The Mahabharata, in Sanskrit it is called Mahabharatam, is one of the two major Sanskrit epic of ancient India. As we know that these are Mahabharata and Ramayana. So, in Mahabharata, it narrates the struggle between two groups of cousins in the Kurukshetra war and the outcomes of the war between Kauravas and Pandavas, as they were the princes. So, in Mahabharata, its main story narrates about the war between the two groups of cousins, Kauravas and Pandavas, as well as the outcomes of the war. The Mahabharata also consists some other materials or some other stories like philosophical and devotional, such as the discussion of 4 goals of life or Purusartha. So the 4 Purusarthas are: number 1, Dharma. Dharma means righteousness or moral values. Number 2, Artha. Artha means prosperity or economic values. Number 3, Karma. Karma means pleasure or love or psychological value. Number 4, Moksha. Moksha means liberation or spiritual value. So, Mahabharata also narrates some of the important other areas, as we have known here, that about the 4 goals of life, or that is also known as Purusartha. So the Purusarthas are, the 4 goals of lives are Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. In Mahabharata, the most important work is the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita is narrated a dialogue. So it is narrated a dialogue between Pandav Prince Arjun and his guide and charioteer Krishna. The Krishna-Arjun dialogues cover a broad range of spiritual topics, touching upon ethical dilemmas and philosophical issues that go far beyond the war Arjun faces. Krishna is also said as the first motivational speaker in human history. So, the most important work in Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita, as it narrated about the dialogue between Pandav Prince Arjun and his guide Krishna. So, regarding authorship of Mahabharata, traditionally it is attributed to Vyas. He is also called Ved Vyas. He also considered as the authorship of Vedas and Puranas. So, the new form of Vedas, Ved Vyas also considered the authorship of new forms of Vedas as well as Puranas. The Mahabharata was probably compiled between the 5th century BCE and the 4th century CE. So, the most important work of Mahabharata was completed from 5th century BCE, before Common Era, and the 4th century CE. The text probably reached a final form by the early Gupta period in 4th century BCE, and so we also consider the Gupta period as the golden age or the golden period in the history of India, because during this period most of the literature work was completed. The Mahabharata is the longest epic heroic Epic means heroic. Poem known in the world. So the Mahabharata is longest epic poem known in the world. Its longest version consists of over 1 lakh slokas. So there are total 1 lakh slokas. As well as if you see the words in total, there are almost 1.8 million. It means that 18 lakhs words are consisting in the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is roughly 10 times length of Iliad and Odyssey. So, if you compare the Mahabharata with the ancient Greek epics like Iliad and Odyssey, so it is roughly 10 times length than these two epics of Greek. As well as if you compare with Ramayana, it is almost 4 times length. So Mahabharata is one of the very important source for the social history of the ancient India. Now, here we will discuss about the Kuru family tree. So, Kuru kingdom, here is the Santanu and another side is Prasara. Santanu had 2 wives, Ganga and Satyavati. From Ganga, Bhishma was born, whereas from Satyavati, Chitragada and Vichitravirya were born. Whereas Satyavati was also the wife of Prasara. So, from Satyavati and Prasara, Vyas was born. The son of Satyavati and Santanu, Vichitravirya, had 2 wives, Ambika and Ambalika. So, from Ambika, Dhritarashtra was born, whereas from Ambalika, Pandu was born. But Dhritarashtra as well as Pandu both were born on the Ashirvad of Vyasa. See here, Dhritarashtra had also 2 wives. One was Gandhari, another was Vaisya. So from Gandhari there were 100 Kauravas as well as 1 sisters. So there were 101 children was born from Gandhari. Whereas from Vaisya, Yuyutsa was born. Another side, Ambalika had 1 son, Pandu. So Pandu had 2 wives, Kunti and Madri. Kunti had 3 sons, Yudhishthira, Bhim, Arjun, whereas Madri had 2 sons, Nakul and Sahadev. Draupadi is the wife here of all 5 brothers. Draupadi is the wife here of Yudhishthira, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev. Whereas Arjun had also another wife, her name was Subhadra. So from Subhadra, Abhimanyu was born. He was the son of Arjun and Subhadra. Very interestingly here, we can see that there were 5 Upapandavas. So the 5 Upapandavas were born with the 5 fathers. But their mother was one, Draupadi. So number 1, Prativindya. He was born to Yudhishthira and Draupadi and was the eldest of the Upapandavas. So Prativindya was the son of Yudhishthira and Draupadi. Second, Satanikavas was born to Nakul and Draupadi. He was second of the Upapandavas. Third, Sutasoma was son of Bhim and Draupadi. He was the third of Upapandavas. Fourth, Shrutsen, also he was known as Shrutsena, was born to Sahadev and Draupadi. and he was the fourth of the Upapandav. And last one, Srutakarma, was born to Arjun and Draupadi. He was the youngest of the Upapandavas. So, here we have seen about the Kuru family tree. Next, see here the map. You can see here Kuru. So, most of the events of Mahabharata was in this area. Consider in these areas. Okay. Next. So, from Mahabharata, what we can see that different social practices were prevalent in that society of that time. So, some social practices like polygamy, polyandry, sati pratha. We can see here some examples. For example, polygamy. So, polygamy, as we have discussed in earlier part 1. So, polygamy means having more than one wife. If a man having more than one wife, so this practices is called polygamy. So, you can see here Santanu, he had two wives, Ganga and Satyavati. So, as well as Pandu had two wives, Kunti and Madri. Here you can see Vichitra Virya, who had also two wives, Ambika and Ambalika. You can see here Arjun had also two wives, Draupadi and Subhadra. So, these practices was prevalent in that society of ancient India. At the same time, we can see the polyandry. Polyandry, it is also one of the practices which was prevalent during that time in the society. So, polyandry means a woman having more than two husbands, means more than one husband. So, this practices is called polyandry. So, you can see here Satyavati. For example, Satyavati, she had two husbands, Santanu as well as Prasara. From Santanu and Satyavati, two children were born, whereas from Satyavati and Prasara, Vyas, one children was born. So, this is one of the practices which was also prevalent in the society. Where best example of polyandry is the Draupadi. She had 5 husbands: Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev. Yes, very important. One of the point here is to discuss Sati Pratha, whether it was prevalent during the time of Mahabharata or not. Yes, one of the evidence you can see here, Madri. As Madri, who was the second wife of Pandu. So, and she had 2 children, Nakul and Sahadev. But after the birth of Nakul and Sahadev, Pandu was died, means her husband was died. And so, she offered herself to ended her life in the fire with her husband. So it means that she offered herself as the Sati with the Pandu after his death. So these practices we can also see during that time, during the time of Mahabharata. So, thus we have good examples of social system, social behaviors from Mahabharata. So, Mahabharata is a massive epic to understand social behavior of early historic period. So, it is one of the best sources to understand the social history of early historic period. As we have already discussed about polygamy, about polyandry, about Sati Pratha, as these were also prevalent during that time. Texts like Mahabharata allows us to understand practices that shaped social histories of early period. In focusing of Mahabharata, a vast epic running in its present form into over 1 lakh verses with depiction of a wide range of social categories and situations. It is one of the richest texts of the subcontinent. It was composed over a period of about 1000 years, so from 500 BC onward, and some of the stories it contains may have been in circulation even earlier, means some of the stories of Mahabharata may be composed before 500 BCE. The central story, as we have discussed already, it focused a war fought between two sets of cousins. But the text also contains sections laying down the norms of social behaviors. Occasionally, the principal character seems to follow these norms. So the principal characters, as Santanu, as Pandu, they also practices the norms, as we have discussed, like polygamy, polyandry, sati, etc. So that we can consider that Mahabharata is one of the best sources to understand the social behavior of early historic period. So recapitulation. So we have discussed here about the introduction on the Mahabharata, about the Kuru family trees, and the Mahabharata a closure or the massive epic to understand social behavior of early historic period. Thank you very much. The next topic, part 3, will be on the critical edition of Mahabharata, its importance to reconstruct social history of ancient India.